I'm really curious what I can get for results comparing DIY all clean diluted 5-to-1 compared to Glassparency tire and wheel at 5-to-1. All right, so I just finished the maintenance wash on both of my vehicles. My wife was filling up her car tonight with gas and a little bit spilled over. The pump didn't stop when it was supposed to, and a little bit of the gas spilled onto the side panel. So I ended up needing to clean that up. So I decided to do the maintenance wash on both of my cars. Started off with my initial wipe down of the interior with a rinseless dampened towel. That's part of my normal process. I'll wipe down all the panels and do the glass, wipe those down, and then the interior is good to go within a few minutes. And then beyond that, I did the exterior wash. So I ended up cleaning up the gas spill on the driver's side, ended up using rinseless. That didn't take care of it. So I moved on to water spot remover, sprayed that onto the panel, let that sit for about 30 seconds. And then I used a rinseless dampened microfiber and just rubbed that on the paint very lightly, so that way I didn't introduce any scratching, but that still didn't get the results that I wanted. So I moved on to all clean diluted 15-to-1 in a pump sprayer, along with about a ½ an ounce of Incredible Suds. Pumped up the pump sprayer by hand, and that was just spewing everywhere. There wasn't enough pressure there, but I just ran with it. Ended up getting that cleaned up, and then moved on to just washing the rest of the vehicle. At this point, I'm really curious what I can get for results comparing DIY all clean diluted 5-to-1 compared to Glassparency tire and wheel at 5-to-1. Tire and wheel is typically my go-to if I have some really hammered tires that need a lot of cleaning. I'll reach for that. But if it's a pretty easy clean, then I'll go to all clean. So I'm curious what kind of results I can get, compare the two at the equal dilution, and see what we get from there. All right, so I've got 2 empty spray bottles. I've got one that I'm gonna use for tire and wheel, and then I got the DIY Detail all clean bottle that I'm gonna use for all clean. So I have about a few ounces of water here that I'm gonna use to fill up the bottles, and then I've got a small measuring cup that I'm gonna use to actually measure the product. I'm gonna put about 1 ounce of each product into each bottle, and in between I'm gonna use the water to fill up the rest of the solution to clean out the cup. And then from there, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Now I need about 5 ounces. I'm gonna go 5-to-1. It's gonna be my dilution ratio. So we'll give that a go. I'm gonna try and rinse out the bottle while I'm at it. Okay, so we get about 5 ounces in there. All right, so we got about 1 ounce of all clean in there. And we're gonna dump this in. One thing that I'm noticing right off the bat is tire and wheel seems to be a little bit thicker. Not that that really has much of cleaning power, but that's one thing that I'm noticing. So we'll go ahead and use this water to try to clean out the cup at the same time. And we'll put about 5 ounces of water. Okay, that's about good. All right, so at this point, both of these products have the same dilution ratio, and we're gonna see what we get. This wheel has not been cleaned for a little while. I did spray it down the other day. I pre-sprayed the entire vehicle with all clean. That I used up the rest of what was in the pump sprayer. Sprayed it off with the pressure washer, and that was about as far as I got. I wanted to do the rinseless wash last night, but didn't get a chance to, so I'm doing it tonight. So I figured this would be a great opportunity to see how these two products compare on this wheel. I'm not gonna do the rim. I'm just gonna be doing on the tire. I wanna see what kind of browning that we get out of the product when it's applied. So on the right-hand side, I'm gonna have all clean. On the left-hand side, I'm gonna have wheel and tire. Give it a little shake. And I'm gonna start off with this side. Give it a good douse. And then I'll go with all clean on the other side. All right, so far what I'm noticing is wheel and tire, it has a little bit more foam to it. All clean laid down a little bit flatter, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot. I'm gonna give that a few more minutes to clean, and we'll see what kind of results we can get. All right, so at this point, so I see a decent amount of browning coming up with wheel and tire. I've had good luck with that in the past. I think I typically use it at a 3-to-1 dilution ratio, so it's a little bit stronger than what I have here, but DIY Detail is so heavily concentrated, I didn't want to go that far down on the dilution, just because I wanted to have something that's somewhat reasonable to use. So let's see what we get with Glassparency. All right, so I would say the browning is about the same between the two. I am going to wash the rim and then I'll wipe everything down and we'll compare both sides and see what kind of results. I have to do this over again. The camera ended up overheating in the middle of recording that, so we'll see what happens. All right, so I've got a white terry cloth. I'm gonna use one side for DIY, so I'm gonna give that a wipe right now, see what kind of dirt comes off. All right, so that's what that's looking like. A little bit of browning. I didn't give it a full rinse, so a lot of that is the rinseless pulling some of that stuff off. So I'm gonna go on the clean side and do the Glassparency side. All right, so I'd say those are about the same. So tight quarters over here, but we'll make it work. But I wanna compare 2-to-1 all clean versus 2-to-1 Glassparency. So this is the dilution ratio that I typically use it at. So same thing, left-hand side is gonna be Glassparency, right-hand side is gonna be all clean. This does have a finer mist on the Toco sprayer. So as you can see, once it foams up, it will start turning brown pretty quickly. Okay. And then let's try to do the same thing with all clean. So immediately, all clean does not foam up the same way. That's okay. That does not mean that it's not working the same. It just means that there's less of a visual effect. As you can see, Glassparency is already turning brown, starting to break down a lot of that dirt. We can't really see the same thing with all clean, but that's because it's not a foaming product by itself. What I would typically do is put this in an IK foamer, spray down the wheel. That foaming action will actually help break down the dirt, and those bubbles bursting will expedite the breakdown of the dirt. While this is going, so as you can see, this product cleans very, very well. So let's see how well all clean does compared to it. Immediately we can tell Glassparency is a much heavier foaming product. It's, we can see the dirt lifting off the tire pretty substantially. I can see something similar happening with all clean, but it's not going to be the same visual effect. But I do see the dirt breaking down. So I'll give it another minute or so, get this, and then I'll wipe it down with rinseless with a brush and then clean that off. So I'm gonna start with the Glassparency side and just give that a quick wipe. Try to remove as much of the product as I can. Do another wipe. Okay. Now I'll do the same thing for all clean. Okay, so I got a clean clean-ish microfiber. It's a dedicated wheel and tire microfiber. Use this to wipe down Glassparency side. Okay, so still a little bit of dirt left on there, but overall pretty clean. Okay, so dirt levels are about the same. Looking at the rim, or looking at the tire, there is, I think, a little bit more dirt on the Glassparency side, especially right around the rim here. I'm not seeing as much on the Glassparency side. All right, so we'll get that a few minutes to dry and then we'll come back and inspect. I want to compare the two wheels and see what those look like. And once I'm done cleaning all the wheels, these should be dry and we can actually compare passenger side versus driver side and see which one's more effective if the stronger dilution actually makes that much of a difference, or at 5-to-1 if it's just as effective a cleaner. All right, so I just finished cleaning up the wheels on both of the vehicles. I started off doing 5-to-1 on my driver front wheel, switched that up to a 2-to-1 dilution on my front passenger wheel. Both of them came out about the same. I think cleaning wise, they're both pretty good. What I have noticed is that all clean is not a foaming product unless you put it into a foaming sprayer. And in that case, it actually turns into a much more effective cleaner. So what I've done so far is, clean those two front wheels, clean the back wheels with Glassparency at 2-to-1, and that foams up very well. The browning that comes off the tire, you can see it almost immediately. I ended up foaming all clean onto the back wheel on my wife's Expedition, and I used my IK pump sprayer, foamed the product onto the wheel. It's a 15-to-1 dilution with a little bit of Incredible Suds. And within about 30 seconds, I got almost the same amount of browning out of All Clean as I did with Glassparency. So what I'm thinking is, if you are buying a product, do not have a pump sprayer or a foaming pump sprayer, Glassparency might be the way to go. The dilution ratio with that is going to be a little bit stronger, but it is going to get you those results and that browning that you might want to see. If you do have a foaming pump sprayer, DIY Detail All Clean is probably going to be the way to go. It's going to be more cost effective, and the cleaning results you're going to get with those is going to be almost the same amount of cleaning for a much lower dilution. Both of them are fantastic cleaning products. Definitely worth picking up either one of them if you're thinking about getting a stronger wheel cleaner. Glassparency is probably still going to be my go-to when I need something a little bit stronger. DIY Detail in the foaming pump sprayer, nothing can touch it at that dilution ratio. It's incredible.